and welcome everybody to the in-depth daily space weather. I'm your vanishing host, Dan, aka Smash-O-Mash. And we're just coming off a period of geomagnetic storm conditions. Actually, we still are in geomagnetic storm conditions, I believe. Let's take a look at Earth's geospace for the past 4 hours. Let me just bring this back. So here's the past 4 hours of magnetohydrodynamic pressure, and Earth is largely surrounded by a high-pressure zone. So we saw some magnetically induced geomagnetic storm conditions, a KP7 situation going on, sparking auroras all around the world. We can expect some fantastic imagery coming out today. Follow us on Twitter for that. More on the Twitter in a moment. And let's let that play through as it's refreshed. So the magnetism shifted here, and it's probably going to shift us back into geomagnetic calm conditions shortly. If it goes back into a highly southward BZ component of the magnetic field data, we can expect to see geomagnetic storm or unrest conditions continue. So here is the ground geospace magnetic perturbations map, showing changes in Earth's B field, modeled in nanotesla magnetic flux density, and like the last frames, it's the last 4 hours. And I've already seen some reports of aurorae visible from Winnipeg, Canada. So there you go, KP7. We saw a brief and unexpected sneaky KP7 moment. It's now subsided a little bit to a KP5, and it all has to do with the orientation of the magnetic fields. So we did see some aurorae spark from this. Let's bring that up real quick. I'm just going to rock this forward here. There is that KP7 moment, and as you can see, it quickly subsided there. But there were some significant aurorae associated with it. There's a southern hemisphere, a little bit of a larger auroral oval at the Aurora Australis. So here's a real-time solar wind, and you can see this strong negative BZ component is largely what caused that. It was at the same time that we saw a ramping up of the solar wind speed a little bit here. Some density spikes showing up there as well. And I'm expecting the coronal hole high-speed stream to be a little higher than this. So this is interesting here. I'm expecting the solar wind to come back up again. So we actually may see additional periods of geomagnetic unrest or storm conditions here. And we can expect additional coronal hole high-speed streams. So we'll get to that in a moment. Current conditions are about 476 kilometers per second for the solar wind speed. Solar wind density about 6.5 protons per cubic centimeter. No spikes in the proton flux, no relativistic particles. Big spike showed up in the GOES magnetometer just before that geomagnetic unrest period. I mean that KP7 geomagnetic storm period. Anyway, those are the GOES magnetometers over the past 3 days. The GOES 16 and 17. Next, looking at the heliospheric current sheet. Let's make sure we have the latest data here. And Earth is now in a North Pole current sheet, I believe, and there indeed it is. You can see on the last frames, North Pole current sheet is now here. There it is showing up in green. Come on, Epic Pen, you can handle it. Let's try that again. North Pole current sheet shown in green. South Pole current sheet shown in red. It's a pretty orderly heliospheric current sheet at the moment. Keep in mind the magnetic environment can change, just like our website can change, with basically no warning. So thanks to everybody who clicks our links. Smashomash.com, you can find our merch link there, as well as links to the Smash Team page. Thanks to paid Smash Team members especially. You can find all of our video content there. We've gotten many complaints about notifications not showing up on YouTube. So we decided to post everything on our own website, which we launched in 2019, largely due to the pathetic censorship of Facebook. Next, looking at coronal holes. We've got some well-defined coronal holes here. They are South Pole-oriented coronal holes at the moment. We see some North Pole ones rotating in here as the North Solar Polar Field continues its migration process to the southern portion. of the closest star. So let's take a look at some. We've got two different coronal hole wavelengths for you here. 193 angstroms. Actually, this is a North Pole coronal hole over here. These are South Pole oriented coronal holes. We've also made a video of the 211 angstroms wavelength. It's also very good at defining coronal holes. One of the many species of ionized iron that is followed by the SDO. Here's that 211 angstroms. 193 is also ionized iron, if you're wondering. And you can see the specific information on that from the SDO, the Sun Today page. There's a little information link you can click there that'll tell you what the ionization state of that iron is. It's a bunch of hot iron gas. Anyway, we'll move on to sunspots next, and we don't have very many. We've seen the sunspot number drop quite a bit. And leave us a comment if you think an inactive sun and an active sun and a regularly active sun are going to kill you. Leave us a comment. Let us know. Suss out your fears in our comments section. What has frightened you today on YouTube? Let us know in the comments. Perhaps we'll feature the most scary, spooky videos featured on YouTube. Anyway, moving on to a visual of the sunspots. We don't see very many at all. And it looks like some degradation of the ones that are there as well. So 2985 looking pretty weak. Make sure you tune into our bonus features segment. You can find details as to where that is on the Smash Team page. Click on smashamash.com, click on Smash Team, and then Posts. And you'll find all of our content. Once again, thanks to Smash Team members for supporting the efforts. So we're also on BitChute. I don't know if you're aware, we put up exclusive content on BitChute daily, bitchute.com/smashomash. Thanks to our Twitch followers, twitch.tv/smashomash. And we are also on Twitter. So make sure you check us out over there. Leave us a comment if you hilariously believe that Elon Musk is going to somehow fix the pathetic censorship of big tech. I think it's all a giant scam. And I think the share price is going to plummet. The Twitter share price, I expect it to plummet in about 3 weeks once people realize that Elon Musk is not going to do anything. Are you willing to pay Twitter $3 a month to have a blue check mark? What a joke. Smashamash.com/smashteam is not a joke. And we've got an out of order slide. Let's move on to some more solar data. Next, looking at X-rays, solar flares as they're known. Remember, folks, don't get coronal mass ejections and solar flares confused. Coronal mass ejections are protons. Solar flares are photons, the X-ray variety. So in the past 24, we saw two significant C-class flares. There was a C.471 and a C.496. We've got some imagery of that for you as well. Here's 94 angstroms, one of the best wavelengths to view solar flares. And you'll see down here in the lower right there, the southwestern limb. The location of those flares. So two very different ones, one quite unconcentrated and one very concentrated. And we'll show you a close-up as we like to go in depth. So yeah, welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. And we're not done with this video yet, so stay tuned for even more. There's one C-class flare. And there's a second C-class flare. We've also got a star chart if you're up before dawn and you've got clear skies. You may see the Aurora Borealis, or less likely the Australis, but you may also see Saturn and Mars and Venus and Jupiter all rising ahead of the Sun. Our star chart also includes the ecliptic, which is the yellow line, and the blue line, which is the galactic plane. We've also got a solar system forecast for you here. We're approaching a full moon. Here's where things will be in a week. And full moon will be on the 17th, it looks like. We'll close things out with coronagraph imagery. We did do a video yesterday that we put on YouTube, Twitch, and on BitChute about some low-speed coronal mass ejection occurring. And here is sort of the completion of it. Keep in mind, folks, we may see additional coronal mass ejections in the earthly zone here. And this one looks like it will contain some Earth-facing components, but it's very slow speed, so it may take 3 days from the time you see this video. Depending on when you watch it, of course. It is, right now it's April 10th at about 6:40 a.m. So there you can see quite a bit of ejecta there. It looks like most of it is off to the south. There could be a small earthly component. It is low speed, and so we're not expecting any big impact from that, if any at all. That's where we'll have to end the video, unfortunately. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Don't forget to press like, subscribe, share, and so on. We appreciate each one of you viewers. And remember, folks, our finest days lie ahead. Sorry, civilization's still not ending. And yeah, may that solar wind be at your back as I sign off from the Smash News Network, least busted name in news.